and recognize the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Desjarlais, if you're prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Devaney, for sharing those thoughts and wisdoms with us. I'd like to start and ask you what some of the key differences between tracking spending using recipient reporting, as you and the RIT Board have done for stimulus money, and tracking spending using agencies reporting the way USASpending.gov does.
Well, Congressman, I think we have discerned that recipient reporting is as accurate or more accurate than agency reporting. I think when recipients report directly, they have a parochial interest in getting it right. We built into our systems opportunities for checks and balances for agencies and recipients to think about what they had reported and change it if they had to. All those changes are totally auditable, so we know what was changed and when it was changed. And we have a continuous open environment for people to change things, sometimes quarters after they've made a mistake. And our perspective is that citizens do come back, recipients do come back and change things because they simply don't want to be embarrassed. Everybody gets to see what they've put in. And it's been, I don't think I would have imagined that when we first started, but it's been a great lesson.
Okay, thank you. Do you believe that a permanent universal recipient reporting requirement is necessary to achieve transparency in Federal spending?
Well, I think, given what I just said, I think the migration from recipient reporting to agency reporting with no loss in accuracy and potential savings costs would be a smart thing to do.
It would make it more accurate?
More accurate and save money.
Do you think that this would in turn lead to the greater accountability then on the part of Federal agencies?
I do. The more accurate the data, the better the opportunity for those of us that spend our time on accountability to get it right.
You were talking about some of the successes earlier. Can you please address the number of recipients who fail to report and explain how the Board has managed to keep it so small?
Well, when we the first reporting period, there were a lot of people that failed to report, and I take that to be a manifestation of a new system, a new idea, and people just not understanding. Several quarters later, those numbers were down dramatically, and now, as I mentioned earlier, the amount of recipients that actually haven't reported 2 or more times is rather low, and 3 or more times is down to 7, and that's out of hundreds of thousands of awards. So, you know, it's 99.9%, which is, I think, good.
Do you believe that if Congress instituted a board that tracks spending on a larger level and not just stimulus spending, that the rate of failure to report would remain that favorable?
I think it would, and I took note of the Chairman's legislation yesterday that it has enforcement teeth in it. Unfortunately, the Recovery Act, when it was created in a very short time period, forgot to put the enforcement pieces in it, and I think the Chairman's legislation fixes that.
The Recovery Board has recommended a government-wide system of award identifiers. Your testimony mentions uniform award IDs for all Federal agencies. Can you explain how this would simplify the tracking of Federal spending?
Well, it became very obvious to us early on that every single agency has their own unique numbering system, probably some dating back to George Washington. So it was almost impossible for us to collect data from all those various agencies, so we had to design our own data collection site. And then we have to, every time the reporting takes place, we have to deal with what we call mismatches. The numbers from what the recipients report to us differ from the numbers that the agencies tell us that they gave the money out. So it's a constant battle of trying to reduce those mismatches. It's very labor intensive, and it doesn't have to be that way. If we had a common single alphanumeric numbering system like a credit card, transparency would be enhanced tremendously.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman Devaney. And Chairman Issa, I yield back the balance of my time.